What's up, everyone? We're back, and I'm gonna be transferring over to my Shaman, play him for a little bit. So we're over here on Punchy. Just gonna do a little drop trade to myself. Thought I'd film this just for general curiosity. Most people cannot believe that this is the way I transfer items to myself, but I gotta say I've done it quite a bit. I mean, a lot. I've done it. I don't think I've ever actually had someone trade an item for me. And yeah, there's been a couple times that got a little dicey, but so far, so good. So I'm gonna keep going, and maybe one day we'll regret it, but hopefully not this day. So, no real technique to this other than, out in a very remote part of the Inithul swamp where I haven't seen anyone run by pretty much ever. So no real risk of anyone coming by and finding this, and we're underwater. So we're gonna go ahead, and we got all our gear, our tink bags here. Got a nice fungi tunic and a seahorse hide belt. Some expensive stuff here that we're gonna go ahead and drop trade. So what I typically do is I'll start camping before I actually drop everything. You've got 5 minutes from the time the item hits the ground to when it will actually despawn. I'm pretty sure I've timed that before, just to make sure. So you've got a good amount of time to switch over. So we're going to go ahead, and we're at 10 seconds to camp. Drop our tink bags. Got my Shaman parked right in the same spot, and we'll be back in a jiffy. And voila, here we are. Tink bags. Oh, look at this. I'm full on medicine bags. I still have to dump some of these. And nobody was any the wiser. There you go. So that's the way it's supposed to go. I've definitely had a couple times where I've, camped to go switch over after I dropped items and the game crashes, and then usually it takes you like a minute for your character to be logged out before you can log back on. And I've had it times where, for whatever reason, it's taking like a minute and a half, or 2 minutes, or 2.5 minutes. So then all of a sudden you're into like 3 minutes of your 5-minute window to pick up stuff. But I've always been able to get back in time, so I've been doing this for, I don't know, a year at least, maybe a couple years. I've done it a lot, and like I say, it's probably not the smartest thing. I guess I'm not really condoning it, but for me, I just find it to be a lot faster than, having to get both characters to the tunnel and find someone trustworthy that you can swap 100,000 plat worth of gear with, or whatever it is. So yeah, this is what I've been doing, and this is what's kind of worked for me. So I guess I'll keep doing it until I regret it someday. But yeah, so this is the new plan. This is the Shaman. I was thinking of, well, I did make sure that I got all of my level 14 spells. I'm pretty close. I'm level 13 right now. About a bar to go. But I want to do something a little different, at least a little different for me. Typically, with a troll, or really like most characters in this part of the world, when I get to this level, I'm usually going to like Oasis or South Row, doing like derv camps or killing crocs and caimans, moving on to Orc Hill, etc. So, I mean, I do still love doing that. It's kind of old hat for me, but yeah, I thought I'd try something a little bit different this time. So what I'm actually going to do is head to the Gnoll camp in eastern Karana, I think it is. There's a camp in, I think, the southern part of the zone there that has a bunch of gnolls that are, I think, on a pretty quick respawn timer. And then at nighttime, it actually, they despawn and turn into undead gnolls, which is kind of cool. I think they might be a little higher than my level range currently, but I think they're like 15 to 17 is what the wiki said. But I'm hoping just my twinkage will be able to carry me through there. So, the fungi tunic makes battles pretty trivial for the first 20 or so levels. And then, oh, you know what? I gotta switch my weapon over. I have a guard captain's mallet I'm druid that I'm gonna use for the Shaman here. So that's going to be my weapon of choice until level 20, and then at which point, level 20, I'll switch over to this poison wind sensor that I've got here. And then I'll use that until, see, I've got my weapon progression all figured out here. I can use the poison wind sensor until 30, and then at 30, I'll pick up a granite face grinder, which actually, because of the damage level caps, isn't really that much more damage. I think the ratio on the poison wind sensor is like 0.71, whereas the granite face grinder is like 0.72. Because the way it works for priests is your damage is capped at 10 before level 10. So like if I were to equip this right now, at 20 damage, 20 delay, 1 to 9, levels 1 to 9, it would only be 10 damage. So the game just kind of swaps it that way. And then when you get to level 10, from 10 to 19, it bumps up to 12 for priest class, so Shaman, Clerk, Druid. So it would be 12 damage is your cap. And then when you get to 20, it jumps up pretty significantly. So from levels 20 to 29, your damage cap is 20. So that's where, like I say, at 20, the poison wind sensor really kicks in. And then at 30, I think it only jumps up to... don't quote me on this, I don't have it in front of me, but I think it's 26. So the granite face grinder has a damage higher than that, so that's why, the damage on the granite face grinder itself would be probably like a 0.8 ratio, but because of the level damage cap, it ends up being like 0.72. So that's where it's really not that much better, but the point of that was just to get some stats on my weapon. So granite face grinder has like 10 strength, 10 wisdom, maybe something else on there. So that's where I'm thinking that. And then finally, at level 40, when that damage cap really lifts, I think it's 40 plus, I would switch over to, I'm planning on picking up a herbalist spade. That will kind of carry me through the rest of my levels. Technically a better option at my current level would be the rune-etched ice worm thing. I think that's probably the best one-hander that a shaman can really get. 12 damage, 19 delay, but it costs like 6,000 plat, and for how much little it has been in the guard captain's mallet, I think I'm just going to kind of stick with that. So that's the plan anyways. So I'm actually gonna pause for a minute here, flip over to my druid and drop off that guard captain's mallet and see if there's anything else we can fork over the shaman for his leveling journey. So, alright, we're back again. That took a little longer than I expected. Turns out the guard captain's mallet wasn't on my druid, it was on one of my other alts. Find who had it and find a place to drop trade it. But we're back. I actually think I have like 3 of these. I know I bought 2 when I was starting my monk, because monks can dual wield at level 1. So I bought a couple of these for him. What's really nice about this is not just the damage delay, but 45 health, a couple 6 agility, 6 dex. Those are pretty nice stats for a low B. So that's what I have quite a bit of health here now that I transfer over 1,000 health at level 13. Found these chip bone bracelets in the bank too that I swapped over, but I think I'm actually going to stick with these Targu strands for a little bit. At lower levels, the wisdom doesn't give you a ton of mana. I think this would only net me like another 15 mana. So I'd rather have the 3 strength, 20 health, and 5 AC here. So we'll stick with that for a little bit. But yeah, everything else seems ready to go. I did want to pick up some bat wings along the way, so I just ended up trading some for my druid. When I ding level 14 here, I'm going to get levitate, and you need a bat wing for that. So the only place I know to buy them is in East Commonlands. There's a vendor there at the border of West Commonlands, but I'm not going that way to get to East Karana, so I figured that would be a little out of the way, and just swap them over to my druid instead. So I think we're about ready to hit the road here. I'm going to pick up some extra ogre swill, get a little low there, and not a whole lot to do with the plains of Karana, so make sure we have some beverage there to keep ourselves occupied. In terms of travel here, so there's a couple ways that I could go. I could have gone the Common Lands route. That would have taken me through South Row to Oasis of Mar, to North Row, to East Common Lands, to West Common Lands, to Kithakor, to Highhold, and then to East Karana. The reason I didn't want to do that is, one, when we get to Kithakor, if I get there at nighttime, it's going to be stock full of undead. We're crashing. Oh, man. See, we crashed on the zone out there. Just happy that didn't happen while we were drop trading. So anyways, yeah, don't want to go through Kithakor with all the undead. And I also don't know exactly what the guard pathing situation is in Highhold. And Shamans don't get invis for a very long time, I think level 29, so I just didn't want to deal with that. We're going to go the ultimate route here, which may be longer, I don't know. But we're going to go through the swamp here. We're going to go into Firat, Ferret, take that to the Wrath Mountains, take that to Lake Wrath, take that to, I think, Southern Karana, zone up through North Karana, and then over to East Karana. So I think that might be longer just because the Karanas are such huge zones that you're just running forever, but I think that's going to be the safer path, and yeah, so we'll see how that goes. The benefit if I would have gone the other way through the desert, I would have been able to pick up my Invis versus Animal. That's a level 14 spell that's sold at one of the gypsy camps in Oasis. So that may have helped us a little bit in Karanas with a bunch of animals wandering around, but I don't think that's going to be that big of a deal. At the end of the day, we've got Spirit Wolf, so as long as we keep that up, we can pretty much get away from whenever we need to. So yeah, we're going to make this journey together, and we'll do a little speed up, obviously. You guys don't watch that whole run, and we'll see you when we get to East Karana. Back, ladies and gents, we made it to East Karana. That little journey took about 23 minutes, and forgot I was gonna have to swim in Lake Wrath. I think I was thinking I had levitate, but then remembering I don't get that until 14, so I have it in my bags, but I couldn't actually use it. So yeah, probably wondering why I didn't just dial a port and get dropped off here. And I thought about that, but I think one of the maybe few downsides of twinking a character, and I'm not complaining, it's obviously self-inflicted, but you lose a little bit of that immersion factor, I think. I don't know if that's the right word for it, but you know, one of the things I love so much about classic EverQuest is nothing is given to you. Everything is earned, and it's hard earned. So I don't know, just being able to drop money on a port as a low level character, you know, something you can only really do when you have a high level main. So sometimes I just like to make the journey, right? Just remember that even just getting to a camp to kill things can take 25 minutes, half an hour, or something like that, and can be dangerous along the way. So that's why, I guess. I just wanted to have that experience before I started murdering things with, you know, fungi tunic and haste belt and all sorts of things that make this a lot easier. But yeah, so I'm kind of excited to check this camp out. I actually didn't think, this wasn't the camp I had in my head. So there's a bunch of like undead reavers, Gnoll reavers, scattered across the land here, and it's 6 a.m., so I think they're going to despawn soon and turn into regular gnolls. But I had in my head that there was like almost like a little fishing village of gnolls on the water. So this isn't what I envisioned, but we're going to try it out anyway. So here, this guy's yellow to me, but I think if we can land some slow and rely on some regen from the fungi, we should be alright here. So let's see how this goes. I don't know exactly what time they're going to despawn. I don't know if morning is 7 a.m. or 8 a.m. game time, but I'm pretty sure they will despawn whether or not they're engaged, so just because I'm killing them won't really matter. They'll just sort of pop and go away. So yeah, this is going pretty well, I'd say. Just being yellow isn't really mattering. I think with the regen and armor class that I've got, we should be okay. So should be able to grind out some good experience here. Curious what he's going to give me. Let's see. So he's level 14 if he's yellow, right? Got 84 experience right now. This UI, if you don't know it, it's called Russell 2. I think that's what it's called. I don't see a whole lot of people who use this. Most people use Duxa, which Duxa's great too. But I don't know, I kind of like this one. I think what really drew me to it was the really large, like, health bars, and it also like changes color as it goes down. So I don't know, I just kind of like seeing that. So I was at 84, I think. Now I'm at 87%. So 3% experience from one kill is not bad at all. Not mad about that. So yeah, I think we're gonna stick around here for a little bit. See what these gnolls can give us. Yeah, I do have a couple other items here that I'm looking forward to using. So the Regent Symbol of Inaruk. This is only obtainable from Inaruk worshipping Shaman and, well, I guess, is it any class maybe that can use it? Oh, Clerk and Shaman, there it is. So this is really nice because it has Clinging Darkness as a clicky effect. I think the cast time's a little long, like maybe 6 seconds or something, but you know, Shaman don't get a snare spell, and that's a portion of what Clinging Darkness is. It slows down your mobs, keep them from running, so that's kind of a big deal for the class if I'm, you know, doing any dungeon crawling or anything like that, and I don't want mobs running at low health into other groups of mobs. That can be a big help. So I think that starts at 15. I can start clicking that. And then the other piece here, the Shrunken Goblin Skull Earring, that's a pretty common one for Shaman who use that as their global cooldown reset. So with Cannibalize, once I get that, I think that's a level 24 spell. Could be wrong on that. That will allow me to essentially cast that much quicker as I click the Goblin Skull Earring in between, and it resets that cooldown so that I can cast Cannibalize a lot faster. So yeah, that one took me from 87 to 91, so definitely some pretty good XP from these gnolls here. I don't know how they are loot-wise, dropping a little bit of coin, but I'm not too concerned about that. Just wanted to try something a little bit different here, and it looks like there's quite a few of them to go around, so I don't think I'll run out of mobs anytime soon. Alright, well, I'm gonna stay here for a little bit, see if we can get some levels, and we'll see when this respawns to the live side. It's 8 a.m. right now, and they still haven't popped. Oh, you know what? Gnoll Reavers. Why was I thinking these are undead? I think these are just your regular gnolls. Okay. Fair enough. That's probably good, because I think the undead were a little bit higher in level, which I'm not sure I could have taken anything that was red, so probably good that we've got a full day here to kind of experience on the live gnolls before we, well, EverQuest day anyways, Norathian day, before we get the undead. Alright guys, thought I'd show you a new camp here, or maybe one less traveled, and looks like it should be pretty decent here. We'll check back in another time and see if we can find anything better. Thanks for stopping in. Real quick guys, so I was curious, so I traveled down the coast a little bit to find that fishing village I was thinking of, and there is a fishing village here, but it is inhabited by barbarians, not gnolls, and they are not friendly to me at all. So I'll be heading back to my gnoll camp, but curiosity got the best of me, so I just had to go and see if I was misremembering things. But in case you were wondering, like I was, there is a fishing village here, but it's not for killing. It's probably for selling for good characters. So, alright, we're back again. I just wanted to do another little check-in as the nightfall has come and the undead reavers are up. So they do, in fact, these gnolls turn into undead gnolls when the sun goes down, which I was fighting a regular reaver and he just poof, despawned and all these guys popped up. So they look pretty freaking cool. This dude's missing an eye. I assume because they're undead, if you were like a clerk or paladin or necro or whatever, you could dismiss undead for some good DDs. But yeah, I am really liking this camp so far. I've been here like, I don't know, 25 minutes or something, and I'm 43% into level 14. Now, granted, I know I've got like the fungi tunic, so that just cuts down any downtime. I basically can just constant kill. But going pretty good. Yeah, the loot is probably the one thing that's not great. The gnolls are dropping rusty weapons and maybe like 5 or 6 gold per kill, but there are a number of will-o-wisps that come through the camp that you can probably supplement with, get some light stones, and those always sell pretty good, so we've got some options here. Alright, that should be it for this one.